Hello everyone, my name is Aylin and I'm 16 years old. Has it happened in your life that big trouble had a very unexpected and good outcome? Look through this story to the end and you'll find out how I messed up a best friend with a principal in a not nicest place. I'm still in high school right now, and I have a lovely friend, Monica, who we've been with since elementary school. We were probably the most respected girls at school. We were loved for being brave and our ability to make a good joke when necessary. It is necessary to joke, always. The thing is, Monica and I just loved coming up with different things and doing them around right at school. As a rule, I was the initiator and Monica was always ready to help me. Of course, we never transgressed the law and we tried to ensure that our actions didn't hurt anyone, but only made everyone laugh. However, the principal of the school did not consider it fun, and therefore visits to her became the norm for us. But it only added zeal to us, and after every grueling lecture from the principal, we immediately began to embody new ideas. The story I want to tell you started in preparation for Halloween. Everyone was anticipating this holiday and was busy preparing for it. Monica and I were no exception. I was racking my brain for a long time over which prank to arrange this time, and eventually decided to do something horror movie style so everyone's hair would stand up. Did you try to impress those around you? How did you do that? While I was thinking about how to do this, there was a hearing from school that reached our ears. It turned out that some guys told everyone that we gave up and were no longer able to give out anything interesting or original. Moreover, they declared that this time the cup for the best prank and all views on YouTube would go to them. Hearing this, I was outraged. Who were they to put a spoke in our wheel? I decided to prove to the cheeky little ones that they contacted the wrong ones. And Monica and I were going to get a little prank for these guys. But in the process of preparation, we got caught by a cleaning lady. And of course, despite our pleas, she told the principal everything. The principal read us a lecture, once again, probably already for the umpteenth time, and she gave a few days of working off. I was furious, but not at the principal, but at myself, that we were so stupid, and even more at the guys, because they forced us on this prank with their stupid gossip. We were very unsettled, but we weren't going to give up in any way. At one point, Monica and I were deliberating in the toilet discussing the script for the prank. And suddenly, we heard some giggling behind the wall, which already strained us. Did these scalawags overhear everything? And then there, boom! Someone put trash in the toilet and a bomb! Everything around, including Monica and me, was completely awash with this smelly muck. I wanted to go to the sink, but I saw that there was a large crowd of people coming in the toilet, which blocked the way. Of course, most of them laughed at us, and I heard some of the guys discussing that it looked like Monica and I really gave up. It was a terrible failure along with public humiliation. Besides, we saw in the crowd how those gossipers and liars, Titus and Cooper, who crawled out of a nearby cubicle, laughed too. I wanted to tell them everything I thought about them right now and in front of everyone. But I didn't make it because the principal came, and we realized that we had bigger problems. Once again, we had to listen to the notations from the principal and get a few more days of work. When Monica and I came to school the next day, we realized that our reputation was over. We became the object of ridicule. Toilet girls from that very video. It turned out Titus and Cooper filmed our shame on camera and posted the video to the internet. I wasn't ready to take it and give up. Monica too. I promised a new plan for a prank. Risky, but if everything succeeded, it would be a victory. We would expose those guys as the most real cowards, and it would be very hard for them to clear of the stigma. In order to accomplish my idea, we needed to get to school at night and get everything ready. We had to carry a pumpkin scarecrow into school to get into it the next day and scare the guys. They would sure scream with fear like little girls. We knew there was a small hole in the school gates, parents. We got there at night and easily penetrated the grounds of the school. When we climbed the porch, I realized the door was open. Honestly, I got scared going into an empty school, but Monica cheered me up, saying that after the screams of the principal, I had nothing to fear, and we went inside. Have you ever dreamed of sneaking into your school at night? Quite the atmosphere. We went to the dining room and decided to prepare everything there. Our school dining room was a feisty place, the most appropriate for a frightening prank. Monica wanted to go to the bathroom. It was not far from the dining room. She offered me, while she was gone, to set up a camera to capture our triumph over the stupid guys. I stayed alone and set to work. But it got even scarier being alone. I imagined some rustles and even steps, and I, unable to cope with this fear, rushed to catch up with Monica and flew into the toilet like a bullet. I took a flashlight and saw the legs sticking out from the bottom of the cubicle. Monica didn't move or make a sound. I laughed nervously and decided Monica wanted to scare me. I decided not to wait and scare her first. I yanked the cubicle door with force, determined to scare her earlier. But in the cubicle, I saw the principal with her eyes round with fear. She screamed and with trembling hands rushed to close the door from me. Monica resorted to screaming and stared at me and at the door behind which the principal's feet were seen. Monica grabbed my hand and we were out of school. We ran as fast as we could and only a block later stopped to rest. Turned out, I just messed up the toilets with fear and ran into the teacher's room. How stupid. We stood in the middle of the street and silently looked at each other for a while, realizing that we were screwed. The principal would not get it off her hands. She would kick us out of school and we would have big problems with our parents. The next day we came to school, as they say, on wobbly legs. All our thoughts were about one thing: when the principal would call us, and it happened on one of the lessons. The principal spoke surprisingly calm, but her face gave out all her anger. She informed us that she arrived last night because she had received a call from the police telling her that an alarm had gone off at school. Moreover, the same night, someone at school broke a window. Of course, they pinned this broken window on us because there were no other explanations of the situation, and the money that they would take from our parents was very necessary for repairs. Monica and I begged the principal not to say anything to our parents. She answered us nothing and only shook her head. When I came home, without having time to slip into my room, my mother grabbed my hand. I immediately realized she knew everything. My parents just freaked out. I hadn't seen them like that before. They told me that they, together with Monica's parents, had to pay for the repair of the window, in addition to listen to lectures about how poorly educated we were, as well as try very hard to convince the principal not to kick us out of school. Our parents vouched for us, so if we got into conflict again, we would have to look for another school. The next day at school, Titus and Cooper approached us. They said they heard about the situation we got into. We strained and prepared to repel a flurry of gloating on their part. But Titus and Cooper, to our surprise, offered to bury the axe of war and expressed their sympathy, adding that they did not want to get into a similar situation themselves because of the stupid rivalry. So they admitted, a little embarrassed, that in fact, with their gossip and actions, they sought our attention. And they chose such a method to be on par with us, but now they saw that it was reckless and rather stupid. Monica and I were shocked by this confession. We realized things had gone too far and agreed to a reconciliation. As a result, we became friends with them and one friendly company. Kids were still chatting about us at school for a long time, remembering all this situation, but we didn't care about the opinion of our classmates. All this helped me understand that it's time to stop bullying and chase the reputation of the notorious prankers, because if you constantly fixate on the opinion of others, you can lose yourself and do stupid things. Although, periodically, we kept joking and playing each other out, but so as to not bring concerns to others. I hope you enjoyed my story. If so, don't forget to put a like and subscribe to the channel. There are new, interesting stories on it all the time, and you can click the bell icon to see them first. I wish you well, and I hope all your enemies become your friends.